Hello and welcome to the premier Fancy Pants Debate Show, Test Your Might, episode 96. Again, we will be switching up the order. You won't have to wait too long to get to the debates, and we'll come back, swing around for the news later on. We're going to be discussing a few things today. One, a VR headset that can supposedly kill you if you get a game over. Crazy. And also, God of War Ragnarok doing very well out there on the PlayStation 5 and 4. But first, let me introduce the panel. Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great tonight. I'm ready to fight and talk video games.
Perfect. Yeah. I can see you moving. Perfect. No technical difficulties at all. Cicero, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. I am also moving. I'm ready to demolish all comers and talk about the video games that video the games.
Perfect.
And hey, everybody, say hi to your mother for me. Say hi to her.
There we go. Get a callback out there. If you are listening to us on a podcatcher of choice, make sure you leave us a review down below, especially Apple Podcasts. That's where we get most of our views. Down there below, let us know how we're doing, and leave a little comment. Tell us if we need to improve, or if you love us, make sure to throw those praises out there, and we'll possibly read it out loud. Most likely will on the next show. Also, if you're on YouTube, at What the Fun Podcast, it's there. You just search it, and there it is. You'll find us. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Enjoy the humor. There's a lot of it coming today. A little bit of housekeeping today. One, obviously, I talked about the Test Your Might rework we're doing. Just to refresh that, we're going to be switching it around so you won't have to wait too long to get to the debates and then swing back around to the news later on. Also, we have a couple different videos coming out, so that way you can just watch the debates if you want, or just watch the news if you want, or the whole thing if you're a true fan. Then we've got the Mummy 1999 review. The What the Fun review just came out. Go and check that out. That's one of my favorite movies, and we watched it. Mike and myself reviewed that phenomenal movie. We've got A Christmas Story Christmas coming out later on this month. We're going to be reviewing that, Joe, Mike, and myself. That is the sequel to the original Christmas Story movie. That's what it's called. Crazy stuff, but yes. Also, with the favorite series in the What the Fun show, we're going to be switching off. So it was my movie, and then it'll be Mike's or Joe's, and vice versa. And then we're going to have a fourth pick, and that's going to be for you guys to let us know what your favorite movie is, and we're going to cover it. So let us know down in the comments below on this video or in the What the Fun shows. Let us know what your favorite movie is, and we'll watch it and review it for you guys. We're not going to do the question of the week this week because we had some sad news over in the Batman universe. Kevin Conroy has passed away, and we just wanted to give a moment of reflection or memories for him. Cicero, you're a big fan?
Yeah, man. Big fan of the thing that he is most known for, and that is playing Bruce Wayne. I think most people feel he is the definitive Bruce Wayne and his alter ego, Batman, the Dark Knight. He came out, the show, Batman the Animated Series, came out after the success of the Michael Keaton, Timothy Burton 1990 or 1989 Batman film. Mm-hmm. And it was dark in that same kind of tone, but it was set in like this quasi like neo like nouveau future present but past type of like Gotham City. It was really cool and stylized, but he had the perfect tone to set for that show, and really he's kind of set the standard for especially the animated version of what Batman is or what he should sound like. And not only the animated version, but the video game version, right? Like that it was a big deal when Kevin Conroy came back to voice Batman for the Batman Arkham series. That made it just that much more special, and made it feel authentic. And his passing, losing someone who is as talented as him is always very, very difficult. but it's even more difficult because the actor, the man, was even more courageous and more defiant and more of someone that you'd want to emulate and be around than the character that he embodied, that he's known for. Like one of the great stories of Kevin Conroy is right after 9/11, he lived in New York City. Right after 9/11, he was working in one of the, like, I think it was like a soup kitchen or a diner or something like that, where he was just handing out a bunch of different things to people, and they were doing work in there, and he was just one of the people that was working in there. And somebody goes, "Oh, you know who that is?" And they go, "That's Batman." And he's been working with these people for like weeks. Mm-hmm. And they go, "No, it's not Batman. Come on." And they're like, "No, really." And he goes, "I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman." And they lost it. They absolutely lost it. They could not believe that this guy that had been working alongside of them, just like a regular New Yorker, was actually the Dark Knight himself. But in actuality, he was just a regular New Yorker who was as affected by the events that were going on as anyone else, and he wanted to do his part. And that is the person that Kevin Conroy was to his core, and we as a community were all fortunate to have benefited from it.
Of course, there's no way to put it better. Cicero Holmes, amazing. We're going to take a moment of silence here just for Kevin Conroy and the amazing man that he was, both in pop culture and outside of pop culture. Take that moment now. All right. And then we'll go straight into what have we been playing next, and then we're going to go into Test Your Might after that. Thanks again, Kevin Conroy. You were amazing, and you did a lot of good things for the world. Sean, you haven't been on in a while. What have you been playing lately?
So last time I was on, I think was the same exact day that Butterfly Soup 2 came out. I hadn't realized it, otherwise I would have already played it and talked about it last time I was on. It is a sequel to my favorite visual novel. Yeah, I'm gonna commit to that. It was definitely top 3, but it's my favorite visual novel. The sequel happened. It continues to be about the same baseball team of mostly Californian girls of Asian descent, who like queer girls of that way that form like an intramural baseball team. And it kind of just is, it's romancy, but it's also just like a coming of age story. And the first one was super duper good. The second one's still good. I didn't like it as much, but it's definitely worth the play for like the 2 hours it maybe is, 4 for both of them. So that's probably the highlight since last I've been on. And then I'm a coward. I went back and got the real canon ending for Beacon Pines.
Okay.
It definitely fits the themes it was going for better than the joke one I got, but honestly, I liked it. I don't know if it was worth it to go back for it. Mine was definitely the best with the malice. For anyone looking out for that. And then I snapped. I'm on the Marvel Snap train.
Nice.
Welcome.
Nice. Enjoying it.
I am. I'm having a good time being a big old jerk as of yesterday.
All right, over to Cicero. What have you been playing? Marvel Snap?
Not Marvel Snap. I keep saying, much like Wordle, that today, remember to do it. Remember today to be the day that you download it. I almost feel like I'm being defiant by not downloading it because I've got so many people in my circle that are playing and loving it and recommending it. So maybe one day Marvel Snap. Also maybe one day God of War Ragnarok. Today is not that day. But what has been going on today is a lot of the same stuff that's been happening before. Madden, slowly progressing through my season, waiting for them to update it and say that the franchise mode is okay and you can perform the draft. but that day has yet to come. So taking my time, still playing MLB The Show, enjoying myself, having a great time. But I'm also playing on my PS5 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 22 Ultra Edition. It's really good. The gun mechanics are incredible. The graphics are incredible. The sound design is incredible. I finally have been playing with my friends, and what has been great is I've been playing with friends that I've known almost exclusively via Xbox Live and online gaming for 20 years, right? We've been playing since Xbox Live. We've been playing together since the beginning of Xbox Live in 2002. So, coming up in literally in the next week or so will be the anniversary of when Xbox Live launched 20 years ago. And within a week of that, I had Xbox Live and was communicating with those people. So, and we've all kind of, we were playing on Xbox, we were playing on Xbox 360 together, but then by the time the PS4 and the Xbox One had entered the arena, people had kind of splintered off. And through the beauty of crossplay, we're all reconnecting in this game in Call of Duty. So it is awesome to kind of reconnect with all of those people and play some games again with all of those people and talk about the time that has been spent doing exactly this. And it really is a happy place. So I'm very much enjoying that, but I'm also enjoying the community that I'm able to again recreate via Call of Duty, which is something that nobody ever says, right? Like, oh, I love the community in Call of Duty, which it's been pretty fun. It's been pretty fun.
Yeah, definitely reconnecting with old friends that you've known since the original Xbox Live.
Right.
That's crazy. I'm sure it's like riding a bike and you still get those same jokes and you remember good times, because that's what you do remember, all the good times that you did spend. As for myself, I really love this section that I've created, by the way. This one that is reoccurring. I'm calling it the Triple D, just to simplify it. That's the Dusty Discs.
You call it 3D, baby. 3D.
The 3D, sure. I like Triple D better, though.
Okay.
Honestly, Triple D, I like it a lot because it allows me to revisit beloved titles that have collected dust. And definitely something that I missed was my Dreamcast. That was something that I loved playing a lot. My Dreamcast, I had a game called Illbleed. This was from Crazy Games. I don't know if you guys played it. It was a survival horror. It was a smaller title for sure. I know not many people probably know what I'm talking about. Illbleed. It's a survival horror with a unique element, kind of like Eternal Darkness, where you have sensors for different aspects like sight, sense, the sixth sense, touch, and you would get scared and you have a kind of meter going up and you'd have to kind of manage as you play through the levels. And it had great storytelling as well. Very interesting game. Does not hold up, but it has fond memories in my heart for sure. One of the first survival horrors I ever played on the Dreamcast. Probably one of the only on the Dreamcast. But yeah, that's for that. Other than that, I've been playing Grounded. Just before the podcast, me and my coworker beat the assistant manager. And that was fun. First time ever doing it. It's a hard task. He went down maybe like 6 times, and I was the sole survivor taking this guy out at the last second. And right after I killed him, the lasers didn't shut off, and I was trying to heal, and the lasers killed me. So we both had to make that journey back down to get back there to get the stuff. But, achievement popped, and he was dead, so we're good. Funny story. But other than that, I've been playing a game called Gunfire Reborn. This was on the Game Pass, and this is a roguelike first-person shooter with kind of like I wouldn't say shell-shaded, but very animated look to it, and it's very good. It is multiplayer friendly, up to 4 players, and you make runs through this temple, going down and down and down, and keep killing witches, all kinds of different monsters. which get progressively harder, but you're first-person shooting through the whole thing. And it's very interesting. It's kind of like Hades, but with friends in a first-person shooter element. I like it a lot. Yeah, check it out if you haven't yet. It's on Game Pass. Gunfire Reborn, very good. And of course, I'm on the Marvel Snap train as well, enjoying that, going through Wakanda's content right now. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. A little bit longer, but yeah. On to our namesake. Are you guys ready for Test Your Might?
Are you ready for the Furiosity?
Oh yeah, easily.
All right, we got Cicero and Sean here. No remix this time. Going straight in with the first question, coming from Marvel Snap. Weird transition I set up for myself. Marvel Snap is destroying the mobile markets. The mobile markets. So, what feature or mode should be added to take it to even higher heights? Sean, you're the guest tonight. Technically, go ahead. You get to decide. Would you like to go first or second today?
I'll go first.
All right, Sean, go ahead.
All right. So Marvel Snap right now, it really only has the one mode where you go in and you instantly connect with a random person, and then it's like you have the 3 zones, and they do one at a time, and you get 6 turns, yada yada, maybe 7 depending on the zone. And that's the only mode you have so far. You gotta fight against people. I don't really want to change that at all. What I want to add is another like series of competitive modes that are limited time. They're kind of like appointment viewing, where it is going to encourage you to use different types of heroes for that type of event, and you'll know ahead of time that it's going to happen. And it won't necessarily be holidays, but it'll be things where like, hey, this event is coming up, and you will use these type of characters, and then maybe when you go through them, you'll also, because it's like the night or the week of this thing happening, you'll have a higher like percentage chance of like getting those people when you raise your collection level. It's usually like you pull from a pool, and it's totally random, but and throughout these events you would have a higher chance of doing it for people from that would be legal during that specific event, which I will get into further after Cicero introduces his idea.
Oh. Justin, I've got 4 words for you.
Hellcow's already in the game.
That
was 5. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, okay. My 4 words for you are Marvel Snap Go Edition.
Elaborate, please.
So what this game is missing is an element of something that existed and was great, right? So you've got your game where you're playing against people, but now if you take it outside, a la Pokemon Go, where you can find more rare cards, you can have those events against other people all across the country, where you'd have the same type of battles, where they're also outside, where you're using a different set of cards. Like they could be cards that are in the deck, but these are cards that are, maybe they look at some cards that are not being used as much, and you can give them more or better attributes for when they're outside. And then you add those cards, so that will allow people to build these other decks and get the cards that are being less used and allow them to have some value. And these people are connecting now across the country or across the globe in Marvel Snap, but the Go edition.
All right, Sean, let me know more about this events or limited time modes that you've got going on.
Yeah. I'm sure I had a comparison point.
Or you could just rip on Go. Together. It's up to you. You can.
No, I don't want to rip on Go. I think that people would love to go to like what would essentially be a raid, but spend even less time there, spend more time going to a place, like to drive 50 minutes to get to a raid, and then only spend 2 minutes actually doing anything there. That sounds like a great idea. I don't know why anyone wouldn't want Marvel Snap Go. But anyway, my idea.
Sarcasm.
back to my idea. So I want to go into some specific types of events that would happen. And again, it's just it's going to kind of like it's going to encourage creativity to make you like have a limited set of cards that are kind of legal for this mode. You can still play the other mode, but like during this week you can do, or this first one would probably just be one night. We're going to have modes like Ladies Night, where you're going to be encouraged to make a deck crafted around the ladies of Marvel, and try to like just beat people like that. A lot of the deck types now are around specific, like a few is probably too many, probably like 5 to 6 specific like archetypes of cards, like movement, killing, being a jerk, on reveal effects, etc. Ladies Night is you're going to kind of maybe not be able to use those same strategies as much because you're using the women who are all capable, but you can't usually do it with just the women. There's also the they fly now mode, which is you're using flying type people, referencing one of my like favorite dumb quotes from the movies. And then you could also have ones, I'm less of a fan of this, sorry Mike, because he brought this up on his own earlier, where you would have like an all X-Men time, maybe around the time a movie comes out. I'm less excited about that one, just because it's a little too shilly for me, a little too promoting, but I like the trend of like kind of funny named events that they kind of riff on their self with and kind of encourage unique combinations you wouldn't think of otherwise.
All right, Cicero, go ahead. No pun intended.
Yes, I will. I will go forth. So one of the great things about doing this in a post Pokemon Go world is that you've had the experiences of having seen what they did right and what they could have done better, right? And knowing that while Pokemon is a juggernaut of an IP, it arguably is not Marvel. Being able to lean on Marvel as a great resource gives you the opportunity to do wonderful things, like maybe there will be the opportunity to earn some super rare cards, like we just talked about the X-Men. Maybe the X-Men are being introduced, so if you go to the local library, you can battle for a chance to get Beast. Right. And like, or Black Panther just came out, so you could get like a rare edition of Shuri. Someone is super intelligent by going to different places. If maybe there's like a McDonald's sponsorship, I don't know. You wind up over by a restaurant and you wind up finding like Blob or something, some other goofy X-Men. Like there are opportunities for them to do more than just like, randomly walk to some place that we're like geocaching and, randomly walk to a place and you'll find a gym and you'll find a Pokemon and you'll catch it and you'll do, that kind of stuff. But you could actually have like Marvel events, but also again, talking about the fights, they've got all the data, right? And they know what decks people are building, what cards people are using, and they can sit back and say, these cards aren't being used, these cards aren't being played as much, even though they're being collected. Let's figure out a way to make those cards have some value. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we have to change fundamentally the way that you were playing the game before, the game that you had been playing, but here's a new mode that is available to you that you can utilize, and these cards that you thought were worthless or just kind of cool to look at actually have some tangible value within the strategic value within the game if you want to explore this other mode.
Okay, I do like that. I do like there's plenty of things that you could do with variants and faceplate for backs of cards and also your character profile picture. I'd love to find ways to get new ones and different ones outside of the game, or different ways that you're doing already in your normal life. Sean, I want you to just beat down Go, and then Cicero's going to have the same opportunity for your argument as well. And then I'm going to call it, okay? So this is going to be just a wear down or a destroy.
Oh, this would have been easier if you hadn't made Cicero make the variant argument for himself. Thanks, but no thanks, Justin. Who's on trial here?
Right.
Anyway, this Pokemon Go argument. I think, like, yes, this is a neat thing to do. Like, a Marvel, like, Go situation would be a lot of fun. But there's something, like, unique here with Marvel Snap that they're trying to focus on this specific competitive nature with, like, this quick, semi-random, but, like, just enough strategy to get on there. And I can't help but feel that, like, more than usual with card games, this is a hard thing to keep a balance on as they try to expand it and, like, add new territories and stuff like that. And I just truly believe if you're making, like, a third, like, just a completely kind of vestigial, not vestigial is the wrong word, but, like, mostly unrelated arm to this game, especially at this stage of development, it can't help but take away from, like, the development of the main game at hand and, like, crafting these really good card experiences that are already happening. Like, even within established, like, collectible card game things, like with Magic the Gathering stuff, when they focus on even just, like, other modes of that are just, like, card collecting, like going into, like, the instead of, like, the main game with Magic, you go to, like, Emperor, or, like, the ones where you have, like, a preface card and, like, are doing a specific mode like that. When they focus on that, the main game tends to suffer, and I like that super duper is going to happen if you do something like add a Pokemon Go onto a completely unrelated game type that is super fresh.
All right, Cicero, no defense, just fight.
Yeah, so special events are cool. But I mean, like, I get it, right? Like, you can have holiday stuff, but I feel like that's something that they would have done anyway, right? Because that's kind of what all these games that have long tails in the mobile space do. Is, in fact, I mean, it's even, all free-to-play games do this. Destiny does it, right? Like, where it's the holiday time, we're going to come up with some holiday special event that's kind of funny and kooky and this kind of thing. So while I do, I mean, to Sean's credit, I think Sean has a good idea, but I don't think it's a good idea that they wouldn't have come up with on their own anyway. So, Sean's just stealing from them. So, like, okay, fine. It's a great idea. And if it beats me, it beats me. But it's an idea that Sean didn't come up with. It's an idea that they would have come up with on their own. It's probably Sean stole it from them. He went into their servers, he hacked on and went and he looked at what was going on, was in a Zoom in the corner. They didn't know who it was, never said anything, and stole that idea, came back to the show and presented it as their own idea.
Okay, Sean wins.
I will say that being quiet in a corner and hearing everything but not really contributing would be my MO, so you're right on that front.
I think I'm pretty sure the reasoning behind why Sean wins is the balancing thing. This is a relatively newer game, and it is difficult to add cards that work and balance properly. That's what major games like Apex have problems with. So this is something they don't want to add another feature that they have to worry about balancing as well. They're going to try to stick with what they know and then add things slowly and keep that balancing throughout. Sean, you got the first one, even if you were hacking in and listening in the Zoom meeting. Here we go. Inspired by Sword Art Online, there was a VR headset, I don't know if you heard about this, designed to kill the wearer in real life when faced with a game over in the game. So, it is your job to pitch me a peripheral that would do something similar, but less, and I quote, lethal, if faced with a similar situation in game, which means it will not kill you.
Right.
All right, that is Cicero first. Go ahead.
Okay, well,
you can choose.
I will go first.
Okay.
I will go first. So in this game, you have been picked. You have been selected, and you must go through the rigors. Go through the training, and it is man, it is something. And with this, once you've finished the training, then you finally gain the chance to wear the peripheral. And it is a gauntlet. This gauntlet slides over your hand, but in order for you to use it, you must chop off your finger. That is right. You have become an assassin and part of Assassin's Creed, and you have an actual gauntlet that you will use as your actual weapon as you're playing through Assassin's Creed after going through the Assassin's training. You have taken the oath. You have taken the creed. You are now an assassin. It doesn't get any more immersive than that. And you only lose a finger.
So Hidden Blade.
Hidden Blade. 100%.
Okay. All right, Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there is one. Video gaming is great. Being a gamer in general is great. It could be a great thing, but there's one huge downside and like one like horror story that we all hear about gaming, and that is the heated gamer moments. And my peripheral is designed. My headset is designed to prevent these from occurring. I'm going to institute that future VR headsets institute a touch grass mode.
Touch grass.
So calming sensation.
Kind of. It's more,
or it shuts off, so you have to go outside.
Essentially, yeah. So normal VR headsets, you map your room, right, to do it. This, they're gonna have to map up as much space as possible, as needed, to incorporate grass or a soft animal, whatever calming thing can happen. And it's going to have biofeedback. And they've used these before to success with like horror games like Nevermind. And when they feel the stress levels rising, instead of like steering into that and making things more horrific, they're going to kind of monitor it, and eventually it'll be a shutdown mode. You can't just remove the helmet or like restart the helmet. It's going to go in a full lockdown until it registers that you have reached either this grass or this furry animal and have successfully calmed yourself down via touching.
So you're stuck in the headset until you achieve that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not lethal.
All right.
You're stuck here until you calm down.
Yeah,
okay.
You are. You've got your hidden blade. You lost a finger.
You've lost a finger. You've got a hidden blade, but you are now in control. You are an assassin. So you can now hide in plain sight, not only in the game world, but in the real world. You have paid the price. You paid the iron price to be an assassin, and you're sitting around, walking around with your smoke bombs and everything else. So it's a game, but it's so much more. It is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle that you have done. It's not, it's not touching grass. It is really understanding what's going on and learning how to parkour and scaling things, finding bales of hay randomly in the streets as you're walking around and diving into those. That is what I am offering you.
All right. Go ahead, Sean. I'm not even going to add to that.
Thank you. This 10 out.
Hey, I didn't let him use it last time. I had that in the plan.
Sure, learning parkour is great and cool, and like, I would have loved to have done it. And maybe it's not too late. I don't know why I have to cut off a finger about it though. And honestly, it feels like that would take away from my future parkour skill. I just think becoming so committed to this lifestyle, to an assassin lifestyle for a person in the real world is one again doesn't seem worth it, but even like encouraging that to happen already seems to be a problem, especially I have to take that stance because I'm out here arguing that heated gamer moments are real and dangerous and bad already. Imagine that without having the calmate, without having the touch grass mode, but are having the full commitment to the assassin lifestyle. Sounds like a recipe for disaster to me.
Well, not everyone can make it. Not everyone can pass the test. Right? You've been selected, but it doesn't mean that you've made it to take the creed.
Oh, it's limited edition. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, only the most dedicated will do what is necessary in order to wear this peripheral.
So I'm thinking of like types of assassins.
Right.
What about Ninja? What about Ninja, the streamer?
Right. Well. He's actually from right up the street, so I'll go ask him. It's about like if your hair is green enough, then you might be able to pull even the ninja assassin off. And instead of a blade coming out, it would be a microphone. So yeah. That would be an add-on that some DLC that you could buy. You could get the Ninja Assassin DLC, and it comes with a microphone.
Okay, why is Sean? Why is yours the better option? I also said it would cause something similar, but not lethal.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like stopping the lethality. Right.
You're trapped in a headset.
Yeah, that would.
If you don't
somebody.
calm down fast enough, your head is encased in a VR helmet, Justin.
Okay, Cicero.
Yes.
Why is losing a finger worse than being encased in a helmet?
Because you had 10 fingers. And now you have 9 fingers, right? Even if your head is trapped in a helmet, it's still your entire head. You still have all your eyelashes and your eyes and your nostrils and your teeth. They're all there. And if you calm down, you'll get out of that, right? You got to be pretty calm when your finger gets cut off. But guess what? Your finger's gone. It's not coming back.
All right. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna call it there. I don't know how, Sean, but I think touching grass takes the backseat on this one. I think lethality is permanent, and losing a finger is permanent for the most part. Also, he said that you would be a ninja or an assassin in real life because you passed the tests, which you would be looking and scouring the streets for hay barrels to jump into, which could cause lethality. So, Cicero, you got this one. Just by a hair.
By a green hair?
Yeah, by a green hair, I guess. Okay.
I guess less was in the question just for fun. I don't know. It's fine.
Well, it's less lethal than killing yourself. It's just you're losing a finger.
True.
I'm not gonna. I have a history of arguing. I'm not gonna argue.
All right. It is 1-1. Onto the Netflix announcement. I don't know if fans heard, but Netflix did announce a Gears of War movie and an adult animated series. Which will do better? Sean, you get to pick which you'd like to fight for.
I'll argue for the movie.
All right. Full feature-length movie is on Sean's side, which means the animated series, the adult animated series, is on Cicero's. Sean, why is the movie going to do better?
All right. So Gears of War, it's about, brothers in arms, taking out real gross aliens in real gross ways. It's like gritty and like brown, but it does look like really cool in its own way. And it's got like weird monster effects. So it's going to need type of budget that TV shows just do not get unless you're Disney. And even then, look at Kenobi. So you need a movie style budget for the Gears of War experience to be full on needed. And that's round one. You just need the budget, and you need movie caliber creators behind Gears of War. It's got a legacy, and it you need movie type people to kind of trim up a little bit of that legacy, I would say.
All right, Cicero, your adult animated series.
So movies are great, and they can be bombastic and a great way to spend 2.5 hours. But series give you a chance to really explore the world and explore the characters within that world. And that's what this animated series is going to do. Plus it's adult and animated, which means that all of the fantastic things that you'd see in a film, right? Assuming that it would be R-rated, in a film that will be created by CGI, will be created in animation form, so they can go even further in animation and over the course of several episodes. So you've got 2.5 hours to tell a story. You're giving me 6 hours, right? If there are 10 or maybe even 5 hours, if there are 10 30-minute episodes. So I now have 10 hours of a medium that allows me to go even further than a film can in terms of explosions and gore and all of the things that go to illustrate how gruesome and how desperate everyone is. Plus I get the time and the space to really explore all the characters. It's a no-brainer. The animated series is going to be the more compelling product.
Sean.
Yeah, so I briefly mentioned the trimming of the Gears of War legacy, and I'm glad you have gone in on the spending more time with these characters. I don't think that, like, I've played 1 through 3 and parts of 4, so I have experience with this. And you can trust me when I say, like, we don't need to spend that much time with these characters in this story. There's not much there to do. We don't need to be spending an extended amount of time with these characters. We don't need more of these just, like, bare bones characters that are just, like, very basic archetypes with, like, really, like, just overused storytelling with, like, Dom and what happens with his wife and Coltrane. Like, and like Marcus Phoenix, who, like, even is this guy? We already have basically the best archetype of that. Like, he's not quite like Mandalorian, like, he's more like gruff and like bro-y than that, but like, we have this archetype already. We don't need to spend the extra time with them. What we really need is to get in and get out with our chainsaw guns.
So
go ahead, Cicero.
The first Gears of War in the marketing was all about a merchant day, right? Like, that was when the things from underneath came up at the cog and they came through the earth, right? Well, we can learn the story of what happened before that, right? As well as the story about what happened after that. And we can hear the story of Marcus's dad, right? Which is alluded to in some of the games. And we can talk about the story of Marcus's son that we get to by the time we get to Gears of War 5, right? And then we can add the stuff from Gears of War Judgment. There's so much story that is there. There's so much world that is there that you can use to encompass a series about Gears of War. It doesn't have to be about Marcus Phoenix. It has to be about that world. And when you're given space to actually explore the world, and you use a medium where you can be as outrageous as you want to be, you can really make something super duper compelling.
Sean, you get one more.
Yeah. So the key to Gears of War experience, from the people, at least in my group that I was in, was, it was the gore or whatever. Like, we played through the main story or whatever, but really what it came down to was the horde mode. And like, that is the Gears of War experience. That's who tends to go there. Who's going to pick up and want to write for this type of property? It's probably not going to be the people that know how to pace either the lack of interesting story, in my opinion, of like the main story, or pace, controversially, what you just went into with all these other main stories to hit, and like try to balance that out into like these side stories, make them the key component and balance that out into like a good flowing season of television either. That's just not it's not that it's too difficult, it's just not what like people are going to make Gears for or watch Gears for in the first place, I don't think. And I don't think we need to change the property in this way, or that it's likely to be changed in this way, when you can get in the essentials in a movie and get what everyone is there to love for. Not every property needs to be everything.
Sean, I've got 2 words for you. Starship Troopers. Right? Great movie where that horde mode, there's a wonderful scene where they're at the fort and they see all the bugs and they're rushing towards them. That's your horde mode moment. Beautifully said. Thank you very much for that. You can have something like that on the show. But while Starship Troopers was a fantastic movie, I loved it. It's actually, seriously, it was one of my favorite movies. It's an even better television show. Not a lot of people know about it. There was one of the very first computer animated TV shows is a Starship Troopers show where they actually follow all of the soldiers from Johnny Rico's squad. And there's like a cameraman that's from FedNet that is embedded with them. And they go through all of these different campaigns. And
It's called Roughnecks.
It was called Roughnecks, yes. Okay. The Starship Troopers Chronicles. And it was a fantastic show that was short-lived, but super, super good. And I could see someone doing something just like that with Gears of War, with with a Netflix budget and the free reign to really be like without being handcuffed by standards and practices.
All right. You got something?
Dude,
yeah, one more sentence?
Can you do it in a sentence? Starship Troopers is inherently a parody and a satire in a way that Gears of War never intended to be or can be read as. Completely different
scenario. I could argue that it could be, because the guy that made it kind of is that guy.
Didn't put in the text.
All right. God, I really think that you guys fought this very well. I'm pro both these, so it's very hard to pick and choose, and I'm not partial to animated films or animated shows. So, it was an uphill battle for you, Cicero. Unfortunately, you fought it valiantly and ended up swaying me. I think that the time that they can take and the stories they can tell will really flesh out the characters and allow us to really love them more for when Gear 6 does drop. I think that the movie will be bolstered by a 2-hour runtime, and I think there's so much to fill that runtime with action alone and without the storytelling that they're going to be pushed for time throughout the entire thing. The show will be able to really do that without that handcuff, like Cicero said. Cicero, that's a win for you.
All right.
Are you guys ready for the blind fight?
Yes.
Yeah, I got my VR headset on. I'm angry. I can't take it off. I'm blind.
Cicero's missing fingers.
Right.
So, it's been 25 years. 25 years, guys. And Ash Ketchum is finally the Pokemon Master. The #1 Pokemon Master.
Right.
Can you believe it? It's been 25 years, and finally, someone has given it to him. So, this is a hard choice. And who picked that last one? Sean, you started, right?
Yes.
That last one.
Yeah.
So Cicero, you're gonna get to pick first. It's not easy.
Okay.
What makes a Pokemon master? Is it having an untethered collection of Pokemon, having almost all the Pokemon or all the Pokemon, or is it sharing a friendship with those Pokemon? Make your decision.
I get to choose.
Yes.
Okay.
And not having as many, obviously, with the sharing the bond.
Right.
Only if you say the magic phrase when you choose them.
So, as a kid, before I knew of Pokemon,
Mhm.
there was a movie that I knew very, very well, and it was near and dear to my heart. And it was a story about a guy who was kind of out of place, but he knew his destiny, and he worked incredibly hard to reach his destiny, and he stayed focused. And he ignored his detractors, and he continued to work despite all of those people and the obstacles that were put in his face and in his way, and he still made it out. And he learned how to get the golden glow. Of course, I am talking about Bruce Leroy from the seminal 1984 movie Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. And what we learned from that movie is, in order for him to become the master and attain the golden glow, there was one place he had to look. And in that one place, he'd find it. And that place was inside himself. So it's not a matter of collecting. It's not about collecting all the things. It's about having the compassion to understand and really appreciate those that are around you. So it's about, of course, making friends with the Pokemon and having them work with you, as opposed to just owning them and trying to control them. That is how you become a master.
All right. Obviously, we got Leroy Green over here. Obviously, we've got the collecting all of them or having the largest collection of Pokemon on your side, Sean. Why is that determining that you are the Pokemon master?
So there's another there are other lots of other stories in the culture about someone that looks inward to find their strength and to become like a great person or a Superman, let's say. And really all I can think of when I think about that kind of story, if it's just looking inward for strength, is like some Randian stuff that like just is distasteful to me. What is better for everybody than collective action? And what you need for collective action is reaching out to as many people as possible, as many Pokemon as possible, because they're people. They talk, they have ideas, they have thoughts, they have feelings and needs that are unique to them as individuals. You reach out to them, you get them on your side, and that makes a better for you. It makes life better for you and everybody involved. It's the only way to victory, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you just argued my point.
No, definitely not at all. Because you need everybody. You're looking inward, and you're only getting a few people. You're self-selecting who's worthy to be on your team, who's got the heart to be on your team. You don't know what people have been through. You don't know who has the heart.
No,
everyone needs to be involved in this shared struggle.
Right. Well, it is, but it's not about accumulating them. It's about them making the choice, and them understanding your mission and saying that your mission is now my mission. And I am going to work with you to accomplish your mission. It is not a matter of control. It is not a matter of you trying to sit here and you got to catch them all, right? You got to catch most of them, and then you got to understand them all. And when you understand them all, they come to you. That is how you become a Pokemon master. Right, is when they seek you out, not you going out and seeking them. That's not what a master does. the students come to the master. The master doesn't go to the students.
Sean?
Yeah. Oh.
It's okay.
So,
go ahead.
Once again, when you're framing it like this, you're saying they have to come and agree to your ideas. That's fundamentally where I have the problem here. You don't even know what idea is going to be the best idea until you go out and reach to everybody. Maybe you don't think that Voltorb over there or that Slugma over there is going to have something necessary to you, and like, yeah, you could spend the time to do that, but if you're a heart and soul kind of person, you're going to follow your whims, and again, you're ultimately going to try to bring to your perspective. If you're collecting them all, you have to brush. In your quest to collect them all, you have to brush against every type of idea, every type of person, every type of Pokemon. And that's where masterhood comes from, is what results from interacting with every single being.
Okay.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Please.
I'm going to leave it to this. Both of you have great efforts here. What is the mascot of Pokemon for both of you?
Meaning like a Pokemon?
Yes,
or
a Pokemon.
Like,
what is the
like,
mascot?
yeah, not
For like the
a
idea that we're
Yes.
presenting? Okay.
No. Just in
For
total.
us as people.
Yes,
Okay.
as Pokemon fans, what is the mascot for Pokemon? Like, which Pokemon is it?
Am I going first?
It doesn't
You
matter.
started, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I started, so I'll go first. I will say Jigglypuff.
Okay. And Sean?
Magikarp.
All right. This is what it's going to come down to. You guys are going to impersonate that Pokemon. And whoever does the better character impersonation is going to win. I think Sean disconnected. He thinks he's coming back.
Yeah, he's
all right.
He's
Okay.
got
All
it.
right.
He's got
Did you hear me?
Yeah, we got to impersonate, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Sean, you're not allowed to laugh at either or, and Cicero's not allowed to laugh at either or either. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, Cicero, you are doing Jigglypuff.
Yes. All
Let it rip.
All right. me. Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff.
No laughing. All right. Okay. All right. Cut.
Jiggly.
All right. And you've got Magikarp, Sean.
Beautiful. That's great.
Yeah, I almost fell asleep. It's perfect. It's getting ready.
Magikarp.
All right. Cicero, amazing try, but I think the splash of Magikarp's fin just took him to the lead. Sean, you have won that. Is that tie game?
That is a tie game.
Unfortunately.
That was bizarre. I don't know where I came up with that.
All right, I
but
love it.
happened.
I love it.
All right. Let me make sure I don't close Roughnecks because I'm going to look into that after we're done.
Yeah.
All right. The Metacritic score. Right? I did something last week and I liked it. So I put this on standby. And it is a twist to the Metacritic score. Hopefully, Sean, you'll have better luck with it. It is the 8 games of the Gears of War Xbox Total Metacritic Score collection that it is included both the original first game and the remaster, the Ultimate Edition or whatever it was called, included. That is 8 games, 1 to 1,000. The Metacritic score is one number in there somewhere. Cicero, if you get like 30 off again, I swear to God. Cicero, you're going first.
Okay. All right.
1 to 1,000.
1 to 1,000.
Oh, also, listeners, viewers, if you haven't seen it, it's Price is Right Metacritic game. If they both are under, it's closest to the number. If they both are over, same thing. That's how it's played. So 1 to 1,000. What is your Metacritic total count for the Gears of War Xbox Metacritic scores?
I am going to go 526.
526. Sean.
I use the calculator, so that's...
Yeah, calculators are allowed if you'd like to.
580.
And Cicero, your number was?
526.
The correct number is 689.
Whoa!
Yeah, a lot of 90s and 80s in there, for sure.
Really?
Yeah. Surprisingly, the remaster, the Ultimate Edition of the original, got less than the original. But that's back when they were handing out 90s left and right. So that makes sense. Okay. 689 is the total. That means, Sean, you come closest by a smidge. Wow. Cicero, you were off by more than 30 this time. Sorry about that. Sean, anything to say to your fans?
You can believe in the heart of the cards.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Nice.
Someone said that before?
Oh. All right. Well, that is our Test Your Might section. We're going to go into the news now. Sean, the winner of tonight. News. God of War Ragnarok doing very well. Cicero, you said you didn't get to play it yet?
Not yet, but I've read reviews and talked to some people that have been playing it for a while.
Same. Sean?
Yeah.
Anything?
I haven't. I only played the original trilogy. I haven't looked into the saga of the boy. Yeah. So.
Boy.
Well, he's a teen now, apparently. Spoilers.
Teen.
That's Kratos for you. We're getting impressions left and right. Yes, God of War is doing phenomenal. It has been getting raving reviews. Hopefully, possibly going to beat Elden Ring this year for Game of the Year. We will see when the awards come up. But yeah, God of War is doing fantastic. I'm happy to hear it. Can't wait to play it. Other than that, we have a story about Remedy. If you guys are familiar with Remedy, they made the Control game back in the day. They're also working on the Alan Wake 2 and Alan Wake remaster that came out. They announced a Control sequel is coming. Did you guys either play Control?
I own Control.
I have played the whole base game of Control. Didn't do any of the DLC, but I am watching a Let's Play of it currently. Like the main game and the DLCs. That is, through the main game, it has gone through Foundation so far.
Yeah, when I think it was like 3 months ago, I sat down and played for, I think it was like 2 days, split up obviously, but I went through all of it, like the full game and the DLC, because Alan Wake was listed or in the DLC. So I was like, okay, I got to go through this. Cicero, you own Control?
Yes, I own it.
Excited?
Sure. It is a game that I have that is part of my backlog of games that I have that I want to play when I have time to play games like that, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of the reasons that I wind up playing sports games and games like Call of Duty is that the runtime is finite. Mm-hmm. A sports game takes the amount of time that the game takes to complete. So when I play those games late at night, I can play a game, feel accomplished, and go to bed. Versus playing a game like Control, where or action-oriented games where I can do a lot or do a little or be in a mission, and when it's time to go to bed, I may not have a real sense of where I am in the mission's completion. So, I tend to stay away from those types of games until I have time. I've taken days off or something, or weekend hits or something like that.
Yeah, definitely excited though. Great hit. They did a good job with the first. Another little news story that we didn't really get to cover. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was announced to get the next gen upgrade on December 14th, and it is a free upgrade for whoever owns the game, which is crazy.
Someone made a terrible mistake.
Well, you're getting ray tracing, you're getting faster loads, mods, a bunch of stuff, all for free, straight up if you own the original game. which is crazy to hear. CD Projekt Red, giving back. They should be.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? Maybe they should be, but they don't have to.
No.
And so that I think it's a great story to call out, because it is newsworthy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also newsworthy. It's newsworthy because, oh yeah, here's the update for this game now for next gen consoles, so it can be next genified. But also it's free, right?
Yeah.
And for players that are playing on Microsoft, on the Xbox family of consoles, that may not be that big of a deal because a lot of their games have been either upgraded for free, or they get, when they buy one copy,
mm-hmm.
they get the copy for, they buy the copy on the original console, and they get the next gen or current gen console for free. But on the PlayStation side of things, that hasn't necessarily been the case, where you've had to pay an additional price to get upgraded to the PS5 version of the game. So the fact that CD Projekt Red is making it free across the board, and adding all of these features is really a great thing.
Yeah, that's really why, because in the midst of all these other companies that want you to pay extra for those upgrades, CD Projekt Red's just like, here you go, you can have it for free. It's crazy. Obviously, they could have made money on it. A lot of fans out there, especially with The Witcher on Netflix, rejuvenating or throwing more fire into the fan base that never even knew about the game. Huge. But yeah, on to the leaderboards. Since we didn't do a question of the week this week, I went ahead and threw it in kind of as the leaderboard. What is our best sci-fi TV shows of all time? We'll start off over at Cicero's side. What do you got?
Okay, I will go with Battlestar Galactica as the remake, or the 06 version of BSG. I think that's when it came out. Really, really good. The Expanse. The Expanse is another one of those shows that is as much science fiction as it is science fact. Is really well thought out show, and great to watch on Amazon Prime, so go check it out. Third favorite sci-fi show, I'm gonna go with Fringe.
Really?
Yeah. Fringe, I don't think gets the respect that it deserves. It started out as a X-Files wannabe, and then really turned into its own really good, I think, high level sci-fi series, and was the last television appearance of the one and only Mr. Leonard Nimoy. So great television series. Yeah, if you get a chance, I don't even know where it's streaming, but if you get a chance, check it out.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes for sure, and it's pretty good. Definitely got that X-File vibes towards the beginning. Sean, over to you.
All right. I was worried when you took The Expanse, because I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to I'll anime this. But then with your Fringe, with your Fringe decision, you reminded me of another show that people kind of are shady on, but I only heard good things about Fringe at the time, but no one talks about it anymore. And it reminded me of another show of the same type. Person of Interest is going to be my first one.
Yes.
It is one of the procedural cop dramas. It's not really a cop drama, but copy dramas that definitely quickly evolved past just being of that form into something that was just amazing and changing every half season.
What was the name of that one?
Person of Interest.
Okay.
And then I am going to go into the anime zone. Legend of the Galactic Heroes. It is an 80s anime, I believe, about basically a great war like a great spaceship war that focuses on like basically two tacticians from opposing sides. One's basically kind of like Space Germany, and the other is like a crumbling the smartest person in a crumbling republic, and it's just really good at talking about the operatic parts of war, but also like making everybody an individual with like a name and everything like that. And then my final one,
you guys really wanted me to spell out Galactica. I
oh
wasn't
yeah,
going to, and then
Galactic,
I had to.
Yes.
I put it in yours, so then I went back and fixed it in Battlestar.
Look, I would have been fine with Legend of the Gal Heroes, you know, if we have the Battlestar Gals. Different show, I think. And then my last one's gonna be Akudama Drive, AKUDAMA. Base Drive. AKUDAMA. New word, drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Google doesn't like that word, but okay.
Right.
All right. I've got a different taste over here. I'm for a few of yours, for sure. I've got Doctor Who.
Okay.
Both the old and the new, because
Gotta go with the classic.
I'm fine with it. I've got Stargate SG-1.
Nice.
The original. Oh, SGI. That's interesting. And then I went with a funny one. I'm not going to retype this. I'm just going to copy it and paste it because I love the show and I love watching it. That's going to be Mystery Science Theater 3000. Comedy along with sci-fi, kind of. And the movie changes every episode. So come on. It could be sci-fi. We never know. Okay. Must-haves. Cicero, what do you got?
Oh man. From this list, I'm gonna go BSG.
Okay. And Sean.
I'm gonna go Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Man, these Galactics. Just gonna bring it up.
There you go. Smart.
What's more sci-fi than a galaxy? Come on, bro.
Sure.
Okay. For my must-have, I'm going with my favorite of my list, Stargate SG-1, hands down. I don't care if you guys would have fought for it. That is always going to be and always will be my favorite sci-fi show ever. All right, we've got some fighting to do. I'm prepared to fight for Fringe. I'm prepared to fight for Doctor Who. Obviously, you guys probably won't fight for Mystery Science Theater, but I felt like it deserves to be an honor.
I'm actually prepared to fight for Mystery Science Theater.
Really?
Yeah. I think.
Sean, are you opposed?
I only in that I am way more wanting to fight for a bunch of other things on the list. Like, I think Mystery Science Theater is a legitimate pick for a great sci-fi show because of the anchoring of the movies, whether or not they're watching a sci-fi movie or not. I think like the bits and like the outside, the trappings of it
and stuff
are sci-fi in a like a way that is important. But I just think there are other things on this list that I would put way above it.
Oh, please, I want to hear.
All right, go ahead. Which ones?
Sure. Yeah, I would think from Cicero, I would start with the Expanse for Cicero's list. Although we kind of already have like, the thing is, the Expanse has like a reality to it. Like, it is kind of more operatic and on like the solar system level that we have for a couple other things, but it is doing it in a way that takes a different angle on it. Like I talked about how Legend of Galactic Hero takes like, make sure there's like everyone has a name and like shows the cost of war in a way that is kind of like pro not being a soldier, but like the people behind it. But I think the Expanse like is pro like regular guy in a way, and getting caught up in a bunch of different things that I find really attractive and is kind of one of the better parts of sci-fi, and showing like things that are happening, like kind of reflecting not necessarily real world things, but like are kind of analogic to real world things. And then I want Akudama Drive on there just because it is the best cyberpunk. It is the most cyberpunk property that is out there, and it is one of the few cyberpunk things that have come out in the last 10 or 15 years that is actually like cyberpunk as cyberpunk.
It's hard for me to understand that Doctor Who wasn't mentioned.
Uh-huh.
No?
I mean,
It's old. It has some high highs. It's got some low.
But it's science fiction.
and a lot
for
of
sure.
dredge.
yeah. It is science fiction.
Like, we don't want to be
That
exterminated.
is-
We probably should.
Right.
It also breaches a little science fantasy.
Right. Yeah.
Not
I mean,
usually.
it's kind of
often.
science everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
but
because
it-
it's been
but
around
it
so
is-
long, like that's what happens.
It is science fiction.
All right. So what?
Yeah.
Aquadama Drive. I've never watched.
Aquadama Drive.
Yeah, I've never watched. You said it's cyberpunky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take off the E. It is cyberpunk. So it is it's like future Japan, where basically like a not nuclear, but essentially like a nuclear thing has happened, and there's like people in a city, and then there's also, I'm forgetting the specifics of like the political things that are happening within Japan because I'm a foreigner and I knew enough while I was watching it or whatever. But like that is an important concept of why it's cyberpunky. But the parts that I do remember that are really important are that it is following it's a society that has kind of like most wanted signs for people or whatever, but like everybody who is like the worst criminal of their thing, even if they're not like the worst of the worst, but like definitely the worst of the worst are this way, are only referred to by their crime. So the main character is just like a normal everyday person that like tries to pay for something but isn't allowed to for some reason. It's called a thief for it. So she is just known as Swindler for the entirety of the show. There's someone that is just the doctor because she's like a Mangala type character. Like she does surgery really well and like kills people through that. There's like Brawler or whatever. So it's people that are because they have been deemed criminals or like outsiders of the world have their identity stripped in a very particular way. And yes, it gets very anime about like how these are like the best of the best, like violent people ever, but it uses that to make a point about the system of policing, all while wrapping it into like that very like neo-futurism setting where it's like one of the only things that actually is saying like you know, screw the police, basically. Like, it's basically the only thing that says fuck the police. And cyberpunk doesn't need that to be cyberpunk, but it is like having that kind of energy, even if you're not going that far with it, is essential to that. And I think having cyberpunk in a sci-fi list shows an important part of the genre.
That is true. All right, so if we put Aquadama on there, I haven't seen it, but it sounds awesome. And I'm not an anime fan, but
it's also just super visually pretty because of the studio always makes very pretty things.
Yeah, I was looking at stills and it looks pretty good. If we put that on there, are we putting The Expanse or Mystery Science as number 5? Are we doing Expanse with a honorable mention of Mystery Science?
Oh man, I almost want to fight for Fringe because it's kind of different from all the other shows.
That is true.
Make the pitch for Fringe because I only ever watched the first episode,
Fringe.
but like everything I've heard about it, I'm down. I just need like a refresher on why it's so cool.
Yeah. So Fringe. So the thing about Fringe is like when Fringe started, it was like first off it was like one of the first like bad robot things. I think JJ had started Lost when this show kind of started, but like X-Files was kind of off. Yeah, X-Files was kind of like off the air, and it came out, and this show seemed like it was going to be like the monster of the week, but then like halfway through the season, something happened.
Yeah, like switched.
Right, something happened, and it was like, oh wait a minute, no, that was just the show they wanted to show you guys so that the X-Files fans would actually start watching this show, right? Because these are the people on Fox
bait and switch,
like sci-fi, right? So that was the bait and switch. And once we know that you like the show, we're going to actually show you what this sci-fi is really. And there was so much going on in the show that was like true science fiction that was at the time nobody was doing the collection of things that they were doing in the way that they were doing it, and it was all very smartly done. And so, they had great casting.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put that up there because it also says that it's genreized as science fiction and also supernatural drama.
Yes,
and supernatural is awesome. So I'm gonna put that up there in my vote. So that's regardless to what you think, Sean. That's 2-1. So our leaderboard goes as follows for the best sci-fi TV shows of all time. Do you want me to honorable mention Matt Mystery or no? No. Okay. Battlestar Galactica, in no particular order, by the way, but Battlestar Galactica is number 1. Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Stargate SG-1, Akudama Drive, and Fringe. That's it. That's our show. Episode 96 is out. Test your might. Hopefully you're still here listening. If you are enjoying, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit all those things. Let us know how we're feeling or you're feeling about the show down below. And let us know what you thought of these Pokemon impersonators going on for the final round there. That was kind of fun.
I'm hired for your next Jigglypuff party.
And that's a wrap. You guys had fun?
Absolutely.
Yes. 100%.
Always.
Let's do this again right now.
Episode 97, starting next week. All right. Thank you, and subscribe.